We're going to talk about a little fielding here, and we're going to kind of jump back and forth because, hell, they may run us out of here in 5 minutes. But anyway, when we talk about fielding, you know, one of the most important things is getting yourself a glove that you're comfortable using. It's very tough to play the infield using an outfielder's glove because you have to reach and search for the ball. You know, so it's important to get a glove that fits you, where you're comfortable being able to field a ground ball. The important thing in fielding a ground ball is getting yourself in a comfortable athletic position. And what I found that's the easiest way to try and field a ground ball is if you field it on the instep of your left foot, which means getting yourself in a position to where you're here. And you do this to eliminate a step. If you catch the ball squared up, it means now you got to get yourself in a position to be able to throw it to a base, whereas if you catch it here, your hips always have to go in the direction that you're going to throw a ball. So if you catch the ball in this position here, your hips are already going in the direction that you're going to throw. So it becomes what we call a little crow hop, and you throw it to that base. So it'll be different for everybody, but to try and simplify it, if you can catch it on the instep of your left foot, it eliminates one of those steps at getting your hips out of the way to be able to throw to a base. And it's all about rhythm and timing. And the rhythm and timing for us doesn't really happen until a pitcher goes into his windup. That's usually kind of the starting point for us, where you have something moving. And generally it's always about going forward, because if you get into a slump, most people think about slumps as being strictly offensive. You can get into a fielding slump too by staying back on your heels or flat-footed. So to get out of a fielding slump, I tell people to be more aggressive. You got to go get it. Go get it. And even as I do this here, there's a rhythm to what I'm doing. There's always a rhythm to fielding as it is to hitting. So the rhythm is like boom, boom. You flow into the rhythm of it, where as physics, remember, now I know this goes back a long way for some of you because some of you are old, but what's in motion stays in motion. And so for me, it was always about just changing the flow of energy. The flow, I take it from this direction and turn it into that direction. Because anytime you have to stop and start over, it makes the game tougher. So once you're flowing, let the energy flow. Let it keep flowing. Don't stop it. Don't be choppy. And so you're working hard to be as smooth as you possibly can in fielding, and that should look something like this. And we want to talk about we're going to throw double plays and stuff in here too. And I always tell them that when I played with a lot of ugly second basemen, so I didn't like looking at them, you know. So a lot of times I use my basketball skills and stuff to do what I did, you know. So it should look something like this. Rhythm, boom. And then if I'm going to turn a double play, I always knew where I was on the field, so that ball now he should have no problem turning that ball. Travis, can you turn that? Travis, I'm talking to you, Travis. Can you turn that, Travis? That should be right there, Travis, right? It should be right there. And I always knew where I was on the field, so it made it a lot of fun. And I was telling the other guys that, you know, growing up in the 60s in Los Angeles, if you went to play the UCLA Bruins, you're already down by 10 points. Intimidation factor. If you're part of the St. Louis Cardinals organization, that was pretty much the way we attacked other teams. The intimidation factor. First of all, they knew that we were fundamentally sound. We were as fundamentally sound as anybody playing. They knew that if you came to play the Cardinals, you better have your A game, because they didn't beat themselves, which was an intimidation factor for us. So we always kind of had an edge. And the way that we enforced that edge was when we took infield, when we did the things that we did, and we did them efficiently, turning double plays and guys with great arms. people see that and they go, oh God, tonight, we got to be perfect tonight. And when you get a team in a position like that, you always have the edge. You're always fighting for that edge. And I think that that's what's made this organization so special, is because we've been one of those teams that always had that edge, whether people knew it or not.
And so, as Ozzie was talking about intimidation, and it started when I was young. My Little League coach actually did not allow us to bring our bats to the field. We were only allowed to bring our gloves, and we had to learn how to beat teams with our defense. So we worked on our fundamentals, we worked on turning double plays, we worked on being at the right place at the right time, even to the point that another coach went to the president of our league and fought that we shouldn't take infield and outfield because we were too intimidating. And so,
I didn't know that.
He didn't know that. So, but going forward, this whole game, it's about playing catch. If you can catch the ball, throw the ball, and catch the ball, you're going to be successful. So how can we simplify it? And that's what my college coach did for us. My college coach told us that you're never playing an opponent. You're only playing the game and yourself. So when someone hits you that ball, can you do your, I like to call it a right-left pickup, right-left throw. So can you catch the ball, put yourself in a good position, throw the ball, and have him catch it? That's the game. At the end of the day, if you can simplify that, you can win. And that was one of the biggest things that we were taught. It's the same ground ball that you've caught a million times. We're the ones that put the extra pressure on ourselves. Oh my gosh, it's the 9th inning, World Series. Bases are loaded. If I screw this up, we lose. We're only putting that on ourselves. So how can we go back to when we were a little kid and fielded that same ground ball so many times and make the play? That's the game. How do you simplify it?
Tyler.
Whatever Ozzie and Eckstein just said. The two key points for me that they brought up and I'll reiterate is the part of fielding is just like hitting. There's rhythm to it, there's timing to it, there's motion. You're always moving. You always got to keep your feet moving. The second that you're stopped, you're dead as an infielder. So, and then the next point, to keep it simple, and I think that's the key word that we're all trying to do is keep it simple. It's something that, especially down here with the blazing speed we have, when you get that ball hit to you and those wheels are turning upstairs and panic setting in, the first thing in order to make the play is you got to catch it. And I think that's something that gets kind of overlooked at times. I know for us it has. Worried about that runner so much you forget to catch the ball. But I think that's something really if you can keep it that simple, it really makes that much of a difference. As easy as that sounds.
Yeah. The other thing is we all did little things, and we find out these little things about ourselves here now, about each other. When I was a kid growing up in Southern California, my first glove was a brown paper bag that I rolled down on my wrist with a tennis ball and learned to throw the ball against the wall and catch it. I had a peaked roof, so I thought I was fast enough to throw the ball up on one side and run around to the other side and catch it before it hit the ground. And before you ask, no, I never did. But it was that type of determination that made me ultimately the player that I became. It was little things like laying on the ground and throwing the ball up and getting a feel of the ball hitting the glove without seeing it that helped develop hand and eye coordination. David, tell them about
so I would do that in bed because everyone talks about, oh my gosh, you got to be able to grab four seams. Well, you grab a ball, how are you going to grab it four seams? So I would sit in my bed at night in the dark, catch it, and get to four seams. You know what I mean? And you try to do stuff that always to be able to spin it. And then the other thing I would always do is, so I don't even look at you. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to know where my hand and the ball is just within my head. So that's stuff that we did, and then we joked last time because we had no friends.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, but show them there too about the seams when you say four seams, because I think a lot of times they don't understand when you say two seam or four seam.
So when this is called a two seamer, when you're gripping with the seams, if you can grip the ball across the four seams, the ball has a better chance of going straight. Okay? And so because of the way, you're talking physics, I'll let you finish that part about physics. But when you have like this, there's more flat surface, so the ball, that's when you see a ball sail. Usually they get onto the side of it or get underneath the ball and the ball will sail. And so like, especially someone like myself who had no arm and only could throw like Iron Mike, I had to really concentrate on getting on top of the ball.
Now you know what was going to happen. You're going to have people out there going.
No.
Even in the speed of a play, that's right. That's exactly.
To spin the ball.
That's exactly right. To get, this has to become such a part of your subconscious that, for me, like on a Sunday after playing on turf all day and you're worn out, you sit down for 5 minutes and you're out. Well, one of the things that would wake me was a line drive, which meant that it was such a part of my subconscious mind. And if you're going to be successful at anything, it's not probably just not baseball, it's everything that you do. That thing should wake you from your subconscious. It's a part of your subconscious.
Yeah, I mean, stuff that we did, like when I was a kid, speaking of no friends, like we'd use the wall. The wall was our friend, whether it be a tennis ball. I had actually, I would mix in this bouncy ball that was about the size of a baseball, just to kind of change it up a little bit from the tennis ball. But then there was also times I had a sister that was just a year younger than me. She played volleyball, so we would trade crafts. I'd say, I'll spike you 10 balls, you roll me 10 balls. So we'd have trade-offs just to get our work in. But I think, we loved it so much, and you always wanted to do it. And I think it's still to this day. I mean, I'll be playing with my daughter, and I'll lie on the ground while she's crawling around. I'll still throw the ball up like this and catch myself.
You'll probably see any of us, at any point in time we may have a ball. The ball became our best friend, and the ball became a way we made a living. So it really did become a part of your life. It certainly did for me, and I made a pretty good living messing with a ball, a little round ball. It was pretty cool.
All right. Well, show them your favorite play.
Oh, my favorite play. Well, we talk about the double play. The double play was one of my favorite plays because of improvisation. A lot of times we never really knew exactly how we were going to turn a double play because it really depended on where the runner was. And for most of us, coming across the bag and kicking it, traditional double play, or catching it in reverse pivot, going this way. My favorite one was where I came to the bag, the guy's about right there, and he knows that if I do it traditionally, I can get him. You can't do that today. But back in our day, it was a matter of survival for us, because they could take you out at second base. But we always use the bag as our protection. So as long as a guy didn't slide on this side of the bag here, this was the way we protected each other. Now, our jobs as a shortstop was to get the ball to you as a second baseman as quickly as I possibly can so that you could go ahead and do what you were going to do. It's not for me to determine how he's going to turn the double play. Here again, depending on the runner. My job was to get it to him as quickly as I possibly can in an area where he could go ahead and turn it, and vice versa. So for me, here again, using physics, because I played basketball, I had pretty good leaps too, so sometimes I could come in here, and if the runner is right there, he's anticipating me coming here and going here. I just use the bag as a springboard. And there's no such thing as throwing off the wrong foot. I never adhered to that because as long as you can get the throw to the bag, who cares, As long as you turn the double play, that was, and sometimes you had to be able to do that to be successful. And I think one of the things that we took a lot of pride in St. Louis was that we were efficient at doing the things that we were good at. It became second nature, to make it happen. And that's one of the great things about this organization, the consistency with which we've been able to do what we've done is because of the hard work and stuff that we put in long before 7 o'clock or 7:05 or 7:15, whenever the game starts. Thank you, guys. All right. Good to see you, Freddie. Good to see you.